here and in our discussions here the same goals and hopes that everyone at the Pride Parade have as well. The same goals for a world safe and welcoming for everyone, no matter what you look like, no matter who you love, no matter what you call yourself, and no matter where you come from. My name is Alana Bellwood. I use she, her pronouns, and I will be our guide today as we explore the themes that connect us to each other, to the larger community, like our pagan siblings, to nature, and to the divine, whatever you may consider that to be for yourself. Please take the time to greet each other and share briefly with someone next to you how you want to connect with other people or with nature this week. Fantastic. Thank you, everyone. Julia Gentle Strength will now lead us in song 188 in the gray hymnals, Come, Come, Whoever You Are. Join me in welcoming Ursa up to light our chalice, which I need to get a lighter for. That's a great idea, Gil. I should have matches up here.
Yes, you should.
Which I don't have. How did you practice it with fire? Here we go, Butto. Can I light this one and then you light the chalice? We light this as a symbol of our faith together here in community and something greater than ourselves and in our bond with each other. Perfect, Ursa. Perfect. Thank you. Please join us in our affirmation. Let us open our eyes to see what is beautiful and what is wondrous. Let us open our minds to learn what is true and what is mysterious. Let us open our hearts to love ourselves and our neighbors. I did want to give over the podium to Ashley Ulmer, our board vice president, for a quick update from our board.
Good morning, good morning. Good to see you all. This is an exciting announcement this morning. I have two for our board moment. I thank you for the introduction in a moment. We have seen great success in recent years collecting funds. So first of all, the two announcements, one's about the strategic plan and one's about the paddle raise. So we've seen great success in recent years collecting funds to address immediate updates and maintenance of our beautiful campus through a paddle raise as part of the auction. In 2024, you raised your paddles and funded the paved path on the west side of the property, providing a more walkable and wheelable access to the lovely woods. Other ideas that have been floated over the years, for example, are improvements to the bathroom ventilation in the coffee room bathroom, a new larger fridge to accommodate all the foodiness of our congregation and the renters, or even a gazebo to stage an outlook into our woods for added serenity. When we are asking members to give input for this year's project. The Paddle Raise and Auction Committee is holding a brainstorming meeting on Tuesday, July the 8th at 7 p.m. for you to deliver your ideas and suggestions in person. Not sure if there's a virtual option. Your suggestions can also just be given directly to Karen or another board member. So think. And then the second one, this is exciting. Wait no longer for our strategic plan to begin taking shape. One of the overarching aspects of the strategic plan was to determine what a capital campaign towards our future of accommodating and welcoming WOOF's growing congregation might look like. The board voted this week to move forward with Kay Kreider Consulting. Ms. Kreider is a UU herself with experience as a board member focusing on leadership, stewardship, and management, and has over 20 years of experience as a fundraising consultant for UU congregations and also secular nonprofits, among other credentials. Her process begins with a detailed initial review of information about our congregation's history, programs and ministries, planning, finances, funding sources, and goals for the future, followed by an on-site visit, which is what I'm tipping you all off to today. Happening in November 7th to the 9th, Kay will be on site where she will take a deeper dive after doing her pre-work of all the information we submit in advance. She will then come and take a deeper dive into our unique congregation's goals and capacity for a capital campaign. She will hold meetings with small groups, committees, leaders, and congregants. Her information gathering will culminate in a presentation outlining her findings after the service on Sunday, November 9th, where she will share strengths, observations, and recommendations, as well as a proposed big picture timeline. That site visit is scheduled for November 7th to 9th, and we hope you'll mark your calendars and plan to attend. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley, and for all the work you do for the board. We really appreciate all that. This week, I chose poems with the guidance of the Druid Grove, who are here to speak with us, in the hopes of finding beautiful pieces that capture the themes and ideals we both share to emphasize just how much shared common ground we have with our Druid and pagan kinsfolk. Today, I'm going to read Wild Geese by Mary Oliver. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese high in the clean blue air are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. I invite Julia Gentlestrength to lead us in our opening hymn, The River is Flowing.
Back to the sea.
I invite the ushers to come forward, please, for our time of gratitude and giving. Our community is growing, as you can tell from Ashley's discussion about hiring people for capital campaign work. All winter long, we worked tirelessly to handle our overcapacity. People flocked to us looking for safe space, looking for community in a time that was scary and terrifying. We want everyone who wants a place here to find room to build something amazing with us. And it was all made possible because of previous generous giving and volunteering. As the ushers pass down the plates, I ask you to consider your offerings to our goals of building something loving and strong, a bulwark against hate and isolation, be it financial or the gift of your volunteering, your time, or your presence here with us today or online. Know that all of your gifts are valued. All of your gifts are valued. Thank you, Tree. Please join us in our giving affirmation. Let us be grateful when we are able to give, for many do not have that privilege. Let us be grateful for all those who share their gifts with us, for we are enriched by their giving. And let us be grateful even for our needs, so that we may learn from the generosity of others. Now, we're doing time for all ages a little differently today. If the littles would like to come forward and sit in the front row here, anyone who wants to be able to see the pictures, because we didn't make slides, we wanted this to be more story time-like, and I won't be reading, Gilby will be reading. You want to sit on the chairs, or do you want to sit here? He will be reading You Are Stardust by Ellen Kelsey. Who's read this book before? I love you too, Bruce. Aww. I love all of you. Ready, Gil? Okay.
You are stardust. Every tiny atom in your body came from a star that exploded long before you were born. You started life as a single cell. So did all other creatures on planet Earth. Like fish deep in the ocean, you called salt water home. You swam inside the salty sea of your mother's womb. Salt still flows through your veins, your sweat and your tears. The sea within you is as salty as the ocean. The water swirling in your glass once filled the puddles where dinosaurs drank. From ocean to sky to land and back again, the same water has been quenching thirsts for millions of years. You learn to speak the same way baby birds learn to sing, by chatting with your parents. Mama, 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 tweet, tweet, tweet. Be still. Listen. Like you, the earth breathes. Your breath is alive with the promise of flowers. Each time you blow a kiss to the world, you spread pollen that might grow to be a new plant. Inside your brain, electricity stronger than the lightning powers your every thought. You sneeze with the force of a tornado. Wind rockets from your nose quicker than a cheetah sprints. You grow at night when your bones are resting, just like the sheep you count to help you sleep. You may sprout even taller in the spring and summer, just like the plants in your garden. Your hair falls like autumn leaves. You tend to shed the most hair in early autumn and save your thickest growth for the heart of winter. Your body constantly changes. new cells line your stomach every 3 days. You'll replace your skin 100 times by the time you turn 10. Just as forests grow new trees in place of old ones, you grow entirely new skeletons throughout your life. If you were a planet, you'd be a lot like the Earth. Rainforests on land and algae in the oceans are the Earth's lungs. From your head to your toes, inside and out, billions of teeny microorganisms live on planet U. You know how it feels to be a good friend, and so do other animals. Bats and sperm whales get their friends to babysit. Elephants remain best buddies for life. You, me, birds flying through the rainforest, we are all connected. We are all nature. We are all stardust.
Thank you, Gilby. We will now be singing our children out. Any children who would like to stay in service are welcome to stay in service. Otherwise, they will be going to do Super Sunday. Hold you in our love as you go. May your hearts be at peace as you go. To nurture the spark of your precious life, we hold you in our love as you go. As far as religions go, we are not the most rigidly ritualistic us UUs, but there is the communal sharing of joys and sorrows that is something really special and sacred to us, and we try to do this every week. We recognize that there is immense happiness and immeasurable sorrow in this world, in this room, in our community, and we want to hold it together. In this room together, we here create a circle of celebration deep enough to hold all the joys in our lives and all our sorrows. When we begin, we will have anyone so moved come down this aisle and up this one to place a stone into the water as a symbol of your joy and your sorrow. These stones can represent the joy, happiness, or hope that you feel. The water is the community of celebration that shares all that joy. Or the stone can stand in for pain, grief, or fear that you want us to hold with you. The water is the community of compassion that bears all sorrows. If you do come up front, please approach this direction and then return to your aisle from this way as well. I will have the mic here ready to receive a word or two that you have to share about your stone if you feel so moved.
I'm Jeanette Parsons. I'm putting this in for our daughter who grew up in the fellowship. And for her daughter and husband and their baby in Boise, they need to find safe housing.
Speaking of safe housing, I just want to give a shout out to some of the people that I've met here who've been very helpful with my dealing with personal health struggles and more recently housing struggles. My roommate says you're all narcissists like me, but I love y'all.
This is a stone in remembrance of Bill Moyers, who passed away just this week. We'll miss him. This stone is to celebrate Pride. Yesterday was Tiger, today is Beaverton. I don't know when Portland was, but it's everywhere. 20th.
20th
So,
next month. I came to 20th of July.
okay. Yay for all of us from, well, who are marching today and yesterday or whenever. And this is a rock, stone, pardon me, for my sister and brother-in-law who have been having some significant health issues. So keep them in your good thoughts.
This for my sister in Roseburg, who's becoming more and more isolated.
I'm struggling to learn how to support a very independent, determined daughter who has, in the past few years, developed some really serious medical problems. And it's just really challenging to maintain a positive relationship and be her mom.
Irene, do you want to say it in the mic?
I really love my sister.
For all the joys, for all the sorrows left unsaid, we hold them together. Please take a few minutes with me for prayer or meditation or consideration. Consider your place in the world, this world around you, and all the joys it offers us tomorrow. I'd like to invite Kristen and Mama Gaia from the Columbia Grove to give us a gift of music from their traditions.
This is a song that we sing every ritual that we do because it honors the Columbia River, who is our sovereign deity and provides the energy for this region. You are our river, our river, our river. You are our river, we stand beside you now. You are our mother, our mother, our mother. You are our mother. Columbia, Columbia, you are Columbia, we honor you now. You are our river, our mother, our goddess. You are Columbia, we offer to you now. We offer to you now.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much for that gift. And I offer to you a gift of my own, Sabbath poem 1986, I by Wendell Berry. Slowly, slowly they return to the small woodland let alone, great trees, outspreading and upright, apostles of the living light. Patient as stars they build in air, tier after tier a timbered choir, stout beams upholding weightless grace of song, a blessing on this place. They stand in waiting all around, uprisings of their native ground, downcomings of the distant light. They are the advent they await. Receiving sun and giving shade, their life's a benefaction made, and is a benediction said over the living and the dead. In fall, their brightened leaves released fly down the wind, and we are pleased to walk on radiance amazed. O light, come down to earth, be praised. Some of you may not be aware that we share our space with the local Druid Grove. They conduct meetings, rituals, and sacred traditions on our grounds, looking for many of the same things we are: community, understanding, and connection with something greater than ourselves. I've invited members of the Druid Grove and one of our very own, James Wright, to have a conversation about what modern-day paganism, specifically Druidism, looks like. I think, like I have, you will hear far more similarity than differences in our thinking and our goals as two groups. Mama Gaia McTier is the senior druid of the Columbia Grove and uses AM pronouns. Born and raised in Vancouver, Washington, A have been practicing pagan since 1997 and spent the last 25 years working as a pagan community organizer and event producer. A is a founding member of the Columbia Grove. Kristen McKinley, she, her, is the chief druid for the Grove and comes to us from Beaverton, born and raised in Portland. She has been a member of Columbia Grove since 2015.
I've been around since 19.
James needs little introduction to most of you. He is a friend of Woof. If there is time at the end, I'd love to open the floor to questions. If not, Mama Gaia and Kristen will be available downstairs for coffee hour to discuss. And in the meantime, I turn the mic over to James to begin our conversation. It might take him a bit to get up here. Yeah.
You take your time.
You have to be really nice to James for a couple more weeks. He broke his leg in 2 places, being a jock.
Look, I forgot to put my water. All right.
All right. First off, we got everybody's names right, I think.
Yep.
Everybody's
Yes.
pronouns right.
Yes.
My pronouns are he, him. Thank you all for the musical gift. That was really fantastic. And thank you guys for being here today. At the end, if I don't remember, please let us know as we close out. A good way for everybody to find out more about the Grove and when the next ceremony that you guys are having is. Can you start by telling us how you both were introduced to Druidry and specifically ADF?
Sure. Do you want to go first?
You can go first.
Oh, fine.
You're the senior druid.
What? I know
Senior
nothing.
is above chief.
Anyway, so actually with me, back in 1997, my ex-husband came out as Druid to me, and he and his friends formed the very first Druid Grove here in Portland called Grove of the Emerald Rose, which they're not together anymore, but that's what happened back then. And so I decided to learn about everything that I could. I learned Wicca and Druidry at the same time. And then there was something else I was going to write because I had notes. Come on, notes. There we go. Oh yeah, I was going to say when I came out to my mother as pagan, because I had been, you know, non-denominational Christian the whole time. When I told her that, she said, "It figures. Your grandmother was a druid." I went, what? And sadly, my grandmother was already passed away, so I couldn't talk to her about it. But that was pretty cool.
Wow. How about you, Kristen?
With me, I've been on and off pagan since around like 92. Back in the summer of 2015, I was invited to a midsummer ritual that I forget what group was doing it down at Laurelhurst Park, and I'm like, this is really boring because y'all are just doing your service and performing in front of us, and I didn't feel any connection at all. There was a guy there who I found out later was one of the founding members of Columbia saying, "Hey, we have a Druid group out in Beaverton if you're interested. It's a West Hills Unitarian Universalist Fellowship." I'm like, I've never heard of that place, but I'll go check it out. And so for the August ritual, which is Lunasa, I came and visited them, and this group was so welcoming. I've been there ever since.
We can't get rid of her, but we love her so much.
But yeah, Lunasa of 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And it was also my first introduction to ADF as well.
Yeah.
So,
because I joined the Grove in 2014 before they became an official Grove, because it goes Proto-Grove and then it goes Grove. So, but what was interesting is I showed up with a friend as well, and when I sat down and went through the ritual and just absorbed everything that was happening, I said, this is where I need to be. I am home. And frankly, a lot of people feel that way. In fact, the very last ritual that we just had, which was last weekend, last weekend, one of the people who were there for the very first time came up to me and says, "I really needed this. I have found where I need to be." I'm going, good. That's what we're here for. Okay, go ahead.
Can you give us just a quick overview of what modern paganism looks like and ADF Druidry specifically?
Sure. Paganism is an umbrella term. You probably already know that. And underneath that umbrella are many, many different versions of paganism. There's Wicca, there's witchcraft, there's Druidry, there's agnostic pagans, there's atheistic pagans, believe it or not. But there's just a very wide range of practices under the paganism umbrella. And Druidry specifically, you may think that there are other Druid groups that consider Druidry to be like a philosophy. ADF, which stands for Arnriocht Féin in Gaelic.
Thank you for pronouncing it. I noted in my notes to say it, and I just said, you know what, I'm going to skip that completely.
Don't ask me to spell it. All right.
but it's spelled ADF.
There you go. And if you want to learn more about it, go to adf.org. Although I will say that they are transferring everything over to a brand new site. So now currently it's new.adf.org, in case you're interested. But what I was going to say is that ADF treats Druidry as a religion with structured rituals and scholarship, and the only thing that is required to follow is a core order of ritual. Basically, all of our rituals follow the same pattern. And basically we do three things. We arrive at the grove, we honor the three kindreds, which we'll talk about later, and we open the gates to create a conduit for us to communicate with the kindreds, which are, I lose things, it's my brain. That's right, it's
The
on your sheet.
kindreds.
It's on your sheet. The kindreds, which are the ancestors, the nature spirits, and the deities. And just to give you a little overview of what this symbol is one that was created by our leadership in the ADF. And basically each one is underworld, midworld, upper world, and all the different correspondences for each one that we work with.
Wasn't that created by Ian?
I think so.
Ian Corrigan.
Yes, Ian Corgan is the one who created that.
I believe so.
Yeah, and then after we offer to the kindreds, we give offerings to our personal deities. Then we do a blessing where we ask for blessings from the kindreds because we've given what we wish to create a reciprocal relationship with the kindreds, which we call ghosty, ghost with an I. And then afterwards we thank everyone, and that's the basic structure of what we do.
Basically, we give so we can receive. Mm-hmm. So our rituals have a lot of offerings.
Lots
and lots of offerings.
Cool. How do you see Druidry addressing the challenges of our time? So ecology, social issues, spirituality.
Well, the core basis of Druidry is connection with nature. It is how we operate throughout all of our spirituality. And so honoring the Earth Mother is the biggest one. We do service to the community and to the land and to the kindreds because that's how we create our relationship and our spirituality. Just to give a little rundown, it says, while we do not have a standard set of beliefs that are shared between our members, we do have specific expectations for behavior from our members. Anurak Fain is committed to upholding all members in a warm and welcoming environment. We are dedicated to providing a safe space for all of our members, no matter their race, sex, gender, age, ethnicity, sexuality, or experiences. And ADF seeks to build a community that encourages, understands, appreciates, and accepts diversity, which is extremely important in the ecological realm, social realm, spiritual realm. And we work proactively to cultivate an environment where differences are embraced and the diversity of human expression is valued.
I've been to a few of the rituals, and it is a pretty diverse group, a very diverse group, really. Especially considering the Portland area is not quite as diverse as you would expect, at least definitely not racially very diverse. And I was really impressed with the diversity that you guys have cultivated in your group. One of the things that you mentioned was it is a ecology-based religion. Can you talk a little bit more about animism?
Yes.
Yeah, thanks.
One of the things that we do in our group is we have special interest groups. And one of them is the Nature Guild. And one of the things that we do is we believe each entity, each energy, each element has its own spirit and its own energy, and we want to honor that. And so we regularly have events where we go out and commune with nature so we can create those relationships again. We just recently, although I wasn't able to make it, had a bird walk. One of our members leads a birding walk once a quarter, and they just went to the Tualatin Hills Nature Reserve, and I believe they 37 different bird species?
Yeah, 37 different birds.
Yes.
They saw bald eagles. They saw
Kestrels.
Kestrels, which, oh my,
Yeah,
I
herons.
love kestrels.
Yeah.
Herons.
Wood ducks.
A bunting?
I believe so.
I believe they saw a bunting.
But that's just one of the things that we do. We also do a lot of volunteering. We may do beach cleanups. We may do headstone cleanings. We may,
Tree planting.
Yeah, tree planting with Friends of Trees.
Invasive plant removal. It's like, this doesn't belong here. Let's get rid of it.
So it's all about creating those relationships that we're talking about in the ways that we can, that the community allows. And so that allows us to give that space, that energy to everything we come across, especially like when she was reading the poem about the trees. Trees are huge with us.
Oh yeah.
Huge.
I love trees.
And that comes through in the rituals too. There's a big portion of the ritual is devoted to the earth, the Columbia River. Can you talk a little bit more about that too?
Well, in ritual, as Mama Gaia said, one thing that we always honor is the Mother Earth, and because obviously without Mother Earth we wouldn't be here. And the Columbia River is, as we said before our song, basically our sovereign deity. And the song was actually written by one of our members, which I think.
Amber.
I know it was Amber. I was saying, I think it's awesome that she was able to create such a beautiful offering that we sing every ritual to honor the Columbia.
We need to understand the energy around us in nature in order to take care of nature. Because if we don't take care of Mother Earth, the Earth Mother is not going to take care of us.
But as always, nature wins.
One of the joys and sorrows today was about somebody, who's in the extended community who's isolated. I know that community is very important to all of us here. Can you talk a little bit about community in the ADF?
I was trying to give her a chance to speak.
My brain is freezing. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It happens sometimes. Okay, so when it comes to community, we are here for our community. As a senior druid, you may think I'm some big mucky muck. I'm the person who is the event organizer. That's what I do. And that is actually my expression of spirituality, is I create opportunities for others to have that magical spiritual experience at our rituals. I've always operated that way. I produce opportunities for people to grow and evolve and find their own community. So that's what I'm here for. And the more that we support our community, the more our community can support others, the more that they can find that space within themselves to honor themselves, but then get to the point where they can honor others and provide support for others. So it's all just about creating a space for people to feel safe, to feel that they can become whole, so they can grow and be everything that they want to be, and find others of like-mindedness.
And to feel welcomed.
And to feel welcomed, because if
I mean,
people don't come, people come to our rituals to feel accepted. And that's what we are here for, is to accept them.
One of the amazing things that I found at one of the rituals was there's often people giving away books that are related to paganism or druidry, and I am a reader thanks to my wife. I'd probably just sit and watch TV if it weren't for her, but one of the books I picked up was Drawing Down the Moon by Margot Adler, famous NPR reporter for a long time.
It's a monster of a book, swears like that.
It is thick. I'm about 3/4 of the way through it right now. One of the things that she says about paganism is that her quote was, religion as experience, not belief. That was her description of paganism, and I wondered if you all have thoughts about that.
With that, I definitely agree with that, because I mean there is belief involved, because we believe in the gods and goddesses, but I can say, oh yeah, I believe in Thor or Zeus or whatever, but if I don't, what's the whole quote?
Experience, not belief.
Experience, not belief. If I don't, what am I trying to say? If I don't experience basically, if I don't experience my belief, then it's just words. It's just lip service. And in my experience, there have been some of the gods and goddesses out there that I literally feel that they've like tapped me saying, hey, we want to talk to you.
It happens.
And one of them I've mentioned to some of my friends, and they're like, oh, you don't want to get messed with her because she's dark and scary. That would be Hecate. If anyone's familiar with Greek mythology, Hecate is like the goddess of witchcraft and magic and whatever.
guide to the underworld. That's one of her big roles.
And everybody's like, oh, she's so dark and scary. I'm like, really? I picture her as like a big sister saying, hey, you're scared of this spot over here? Let me light my torch. Let's look over there and see what's over there. You know, big sister, big loving sister, great friend, not a scary anything.
See, one of the big things that happens in paganism in general, they call it UPG, unverified personal gnosis. And what that means is what you experience may not be what the next person experiences. If any of you have been to one of those evangelical churches, especially Pentecostal, you may go in there and people kind of tell you what to believe, but then people go up and say, here's the speaking in tongue, blah, 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 blah. But the thing is that, because I've been there, it feels like you're just going along with emotions. You may feel energy that is raised, but you don't really know what it is. However, if you're in a pagan environment, we, in our particular grove, we rotate through pantheons. We call them hearth cultures. So we don't just stick with one. It's not just Celtic or Greek or Norse. We vary throughout the year. But one thing I want to say is when we have our rituals, there are opportunities to open yourself up to the kindreds. As we mentioned, that is the ancestors, the nature spirits, and the deities. So when we hallow a portal, because we'll have a space with a cauldron with water, that's the well. We'll have a space with a fire, that's for the deities. In the center, we have a representation of the tree, which is the sacred center. And so when each time we call in those entities, we say, now spend some time because the ancestors have something they wish to say to you. Call in your own ancestors. Call in those nature spirits that you feel akin to. Call in your deities, not just the ones that we're honoring that particular day. And people sit and meditate, and they will receive messages and images of those entities coming in. I take it, my king's coming in now.
We could just give Mama Guy a hand mic too if you want. I think there's
Yeah,
that
that's
one on.
fine.
We can just do that.
You want to just mute this thing now? Is it working? Hello?
Yeah, absolutely. I have one other question. Alana wants to open it up to the audience, but I have one other question. If there was one thing that you, before you were a pagan, would have wanted to know about paganism or about Druidry specifically, what would that thing be? And I know we're off our questions, but.
Well, honestly, the biggest one, just in general, is do we worship the devil?
Oh, that's a great one. Do you worship
No. We believe that the devil is a Christian construct. And honestly, we have quite a few deities in our different pantheons that Christians have decided are the devil, which they're not. One is Pan in the Greek. There's Cernunnos in the Celtic. But they are entities of deep nature connection. The horned god is the big term in Wicca and witchcraft and paganism. But they are just the deities of nature. And so no, we do not worship the devil.
No.
We have time for 2 questions. Okay. Jeanette gets to go first. You're a sweetie.
Well, what I'm hearing, I think, is something that I grew up with, which is be living what I believe.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It absolutely is a living religion, Druidry is.
Yeah.
Because it's all about creating that relationship with the deities, with the ancestors, with the nature spirits. It's becoming not just a witness, but a participant in the creation of your spirituality.
I love that.
Yeah. Because like I said, if you don't live what you believe, then kind of like, because I grew up in the Episcopal Church, and by the time, well, let's see, I was confirmed when I was 12. Yay, this is what I remember from my confirmation class. A sacrament is an outward and visible sign of an inward and spiritual grace. What does that mean? I have no idea. I was giving lip service the entire time. I really didn't believe what I was talking about. And ever since I started on my pagan path back in the early 90s, I'm like, oh, is this what it's supposed to be about? Got it. Okay, now I'm lost.
I want to give a quick example of the experiences that we have in ritual that represents living your spirituality. And one is the last ritual that we had a big, huge Midsummer Fest. It was Swedish that time around, so we were celebrating Midsummer, which, by the way, down the road, they're having their Midsummer Festival just this weekend.
Okay. I saw the sign.
Yes, they did. And, but what happens is during our ritual, after we have given all of our offerings and we ask for blessings, we take an omen, which means we use a form of divination to ask what the kindreds wish to share with us, right? And so last time, each time I drew a card for each of the kindreds, the card basically says, "Great party! I'm loving it here." Seriously, every single card was basically saying, "I am loving this feast. You are having a wonderful time. Thanks for having us." I'm like, what? It was awesome.
We love it when the omens do that. Other times we get omens that are like, okay, you need to really prepare for the, what that's coming.
Yeah, we had that at Salentine before the election last.
Yeah.
That was. But anyway. Yes, someone has a question in the back.
Yeah. Well, a comment. I was thinking about the 1612 Olympics when the Vikings took all the gold.
They're onto something there. Thank you so much for your time and your vulnerability.
Can you give us a plug and let us know just where we can find more information about ADF, about Druidry specifically, and
Absolutely.
your next
Well,
event?
like I said, the new.adf.org, that's the international organization. We have our own website, columbiaadf.org. And our next ritual is going to be August 10th. It's going to be Irish Celtic, and we are having a puck festival. For anyone who is Irish, they actually have puck festivals in Ireland on that weekend. So I figured, hey, why not join in? So that's what we're going to be doing that weekend.
Cool. And anybody who wants to join, if we want to find the exact time and date, it's on the Columbia Grove ADF site.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. We have a calendar page that has all of our public information as far as public events such as the rituals.
We usually have a Druid drinks about a week before, where we all go into a pub somewhere and we just sit and we commune and just get to know each other better. So everyone's always welcome to that.
Yes.
Awesome. And if you don't remember the URL, you can just Google Columbia Grove ADF too. It comes right up. It's like the first hit. So that's how I found them. I mean, other than just seeing, we're always here on Saturdays too. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I
Thank
should have
you.
put that stuff on a little handout. Didn't think about it.
Oh.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Thank you
you
everyone
so
so much
much.
for having us. We really appreciate it.
We'll give James some extra time to get off the stage. Thank you so much, Mama Gaia and Kristen, for your generous gift of your time and your vulnerability and your wisdom. We hope we can keep the conversation going downstairs in the coffee hour. They'll be there to answer any questions you might have about the process. You good? Great. I now invite. That's not funny. It's not funny at all. 0% funny. I now invite Julia Gentle Strength up to guide us in our last hymn and one of my favorites.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Julia. Thank you, Betsy, as well. I extinguish this flame, but not everything that it means to us. Until we meet again and light our symbol of our community and our hope and our love together. Will you please join hands with the front face the back, and we will sing Carry the Flame. Thank you, everyone.